Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is the Man United agenda. It's a big one. It is a big one. Manchester United versus Corner FC, aka Arsenal. I'm joined with Yaba. How are we feeling, kind sir?
Big up to you, man. If we were playing Aston Villa, it would be a hometown game for you because all your mates are Villa fans. Well, all my mates are Arsenal fans, so this means a lot. Twice a year. Not like it used to be under Wenger and Fergie. Those days were sort of vicious and top draw. But I think it still means enough. When I always look for them on the fixture list, and it's all about bragging rights for me. We have to get one over on Arsenal. We played well against them early in the season, but this time we're in the swing of things now. So much changes since then, and I think we've got a chance of doing something special. So big up to everyone in the Man United agenda. We're here to talk about Arsenal, and can we do the job? That's what it's about.
And you say that, obviously I'm from Birmingham, and you say that, but I am surrounded by Arsenal fans. Believe me. Yeah. For me, because I'm from Birmingham, and it's probably for my sins, I consider this one of the biggest games for me. One of the biggest games because of the fan base, because of the Arsenal fan base. But we will get into it, obviously. But it's a huge game. We've had some extra news that's come out today. It's been a big day of news for Manchester United, to be fair. And I had the title as Old Rivals Strike Again. And obviously we've got a different title. We've had to tweak it a little bit. We've had some news that has sparked out of nowhere, out of the blue. But at the same time, we were kind of expecting this at some point. If not now, then the end of the season. And I would not be doing my due diligence. It would be remiss of me if I did not bring this guy to the screen. Casemiro. Yeah. So he's announced, the big man himself, Casemiro, the Brazilian dominant force in the midfield, has announced that he will be leaving Manchester United at the end of this season. Chat, let us know your thoughts about this. Big news. Yaba, thoughts on the news, and then obviously your opinion on Casemiro.
Well, when I heard it, I mean, we got a WhatsApp group, haven't we? We both put it in there, like minutes after it came out, and it is big news. I mean, it's an announcement. I mean, you always think, should they wait to make the announcement? But he's come out of it now. At least we know this is the end, and we can see him off if you want to in over the next coming games. But I'll just say this: what really makes me laugh right now, this is like 9 o'clock on the same evening, a few hours after the announcement. I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these tributes to Casemiro. And this is what really makes me laugh about the fan base at the moment, because they're cussing him 1 minute and then they're making out like his best thing since sliced bread the next. Look, I can't stand fair with the fans. If you like the guy and you like how he plays and he's done a good job for Man United and you think he's a legend and everything, that's great. But if you're going to diss him, say he's a pudding, and say, he's not underperforming and all this kind of thing, be consistent with it. Because don't start, making out, oh yeah, Casemiro, wonderful player. Well, just because he's announced he's leaving. The bottom line is this: he was a top player in a top side with Real Madrid, and he's done well with Brazil as well, international. He's come to us. He hasn't been the best, in my opinion, but I do like his attributes with his mentals, even though he's not physically at his best as he used to be. What he's shown is his mentals and being a squad player. A team man, a squad man. Even when he's on the bench, you see him, running down and cheering and everything. That's a good example of a top pro. So those are the attributes I like from Casemiro. And obviously he's clutch as well. He comes up with the cup final goal and he scores headers a lot of the time. He's for somehow not being the giant of a player, always seems to score headers, defending headers as well. But for me, if I'm being brutally honest, there's not a disrespect to him and anything like that. He's a top player in his day, but he hasn't been the best for Man United. And I said it at the time, and I'm going to say it again. I don't think he's been a legend at Man United. I don't know what the fuss is about. He wouldn't, if we really looked at it and checked it, who would really have kept him on and signed him another contract of £300,000 a week, thinking he's going to be essential? Not for me. But, he's done his job, and fair play to him.
Yeah, and that's bang on. I get your comment about fans that have kind of been on his back and then now he's leaving the door, coming out with tribute videos. I'll put my hand up. I've been one of those fans. I'm one of those fans. So I've had my fair share of saying Casemiro, this, that, and the other. I don't go to the extremes that certain people do go. I kind of call it as it is, to the point where it's like, you're not performing well, do better. We know you've got it in your locker. I've seen you perform better. But when people are coming out on, on Sky Sports News, for example, and saying that, and leave the game, leave the sport before the sport leaves you, yeah, I think that's classless by certain people. I respect him highly. Everything that he's done for Real Madrid, I think when we got him, the season we got him was his best season. Helped us win the League Cup. Incredible season. Last season in Europe was incredible for us, and even this season, I would go as far to say he's been quite good for us this season. But in terms of the salary, the wage that he's on, it doesn't make sense to re-sign him. This whole situation of him moving on makes complete sense to me. 350k, 300k, that's gonna ultimately get us a player that we will need to fill that void. Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully, there's been talks of us with the NDD talk, and apparently there's going to be a buy option on that one. So I don't want to get into that too much. We can probably discuss that another time. But hopefully, Casemiro leaving the door, it's a massive void to fill. Talks of him, staying, people want him to stay to try and be a locker room leader. And no. He's still got enough in him to go somewhere else and earn. I'm gonna say earn a lot of money, earn a lot with us. But yeah, it's a sad one, but I think it's the right move. It is the right move, and I'm happy for him. He will bust his balls now for the rest of the season. Hopefully. He's a class act, professional, and I don't see him down in tools.
That's the measure of the man, though. You talk about, obviously, like I said, physically he's not at his best. There's games where he goes missing. You only have to ask Rebel, who say he can only last 50 minutes and all this kind of thing, which is not true. But he's in the Premiership. It was a rude awakening for him coming here from Real Madrid, strolled in Ole football. Suddenly he's coming out here. He's having to put the work in. He was, bullied a lot of the time, and he was targeted, in my opinion. But he's adapted. He's had to put his head down, adapt. And people talk about his resilience. I saw Saeed, big up to Saeed TV. And I know Saeed TV, when I've seen it, they've been cussing him out when it's needed to be cussed. But he's been giving him a tribute this time around and saying, he's shown resilience by coming back from those bad times when his form was poor. We wanted him out the side many times on his channel, in the comments, all the fan base. But he's come back and he's won us over again with his performances and his attributes, with the mentals. So that's where I commend him. I say, yeah, take a bow, because you're showing professionalism and you're trying to adapt to a game where you could have been booted out in the first season because you thought it was maybe too much for you. So fair play to him. He's tried his best, but I think we need to move on. And it's a good decision for the club and for him going forward.
Fair enough. Chat, Angel, Casemiro, my legend, my leader, love heart. Andrew, do like him a lot as a character though. And yeah, the character of the man, obviously he can't be discredited in that regard. Matthew, big up yourself. Mr. B, he's gonna leave us with Champions League football. Hopefully. Positive. Oh, that's positive from you, Mr. B. It's very positive. Hopefully you can get us over the line. Hopefully. Woo, Belabor coming. Yeah, I think this will fill the void. Of some kind. Definitely. Casemiro is very likable. Andrew, again, yeah, he is. He's a class act. He will leave a legacy on this club. But yeah, I'm happy for him. Hopefully he goes on and prospers. And United won't like this. Means that it's time to spend well in midfield. Says Chat Sports, and he wants Tonali. He's, to be honest, I wouldn't mind Tonali. He's kind of falling out of favor at Newcastle. It's a bit weird, a bit of a weird one. But yeah, Casemiro, thank you, kind sir. And yeah, hopefully you pull up trees this weekend. Now, what we're here for, the preview. Manchester United versus Corner FC Arsenal. It's a big game, and again we've touched upon it briefly. Both teams coming into it, Arsenal top of the league, smashing teams. Well, I say smashing teams, winning a lot of games. Premier League, a really good midweek victory against Inter Milan, rested a lot of their players in doing so as well. Um, they are looking formidable at this moment in time. Um, Yaba, thoughts on Arsenal this season? Your opinion on them. Is this a game that we should be concerned about, worried about?
Yeah, it's one of they're clearly the top of the table. The league don't lie; they're there for a reason. Really, really formidable team. You mentioned it about their defense; they don't really concede many goals. And once you've got a good goalkeeper and a good defense, you can build on that, and that's exactly what he's done at the side. They got a way of playing which really suffocates teams. They can compact play in your box and in your box, in your half, and compress the play, and it's hard to get out because they just squeeze the lines between the forward and the defense is so small that they get in amongst you, and it's really hard to play against. But I think Man United are their worst nightmare because when you look at the pace that we have on the counter and what we can do, as you showed the other day against City, if we could just keep things simple. So I just think we're going into the game with the form we have against City. We're all excited about it, but we have to remember Arsenal are top side. I think what happens with Arsenal is because they've probably bought the wrong striker. I think Jesus is proving right now with what he's doing in and around the box. They don't, because they play such a high line and they compress teams and suffocate teams. There's no space in behind usually because teams are sitting deep. This is why their new striker, the Swedish striker, maybe not getting the goals because he likes to run into channels and that kind of thing. But it's for different games. I think he'd be suitable. But Jesus is on form again. I do like Jesus. He's really, you look at him, you think he's small, but he can hold up the ball really well, and he's a nightmare for defenders. And obviously, I've seen him score a lot of headers and trickery in the box. Very good player, as City would know. They let him go. So going into the game, we are concerned. Obviously, with Saka, if once he gets the ball, we have to kind of double up on him and be concerned about that. Then you got Odegaard pulling strings in midfield. Rice, who is just an immense player, and he shows those qualities that we talk about with Casemiro, those leadership qualities and experience, and his running power. He's a winner, born winner. I mean, to win a cup with West Ham, a European Cup with West Ham, is just unbelievable, and that was all down to him. What a player he is. So it's going to be a really tough test for us, especially at the Emirates. But we're here to talk about how we can win. And I don't know, we'll get the scorelines later, but there's a possibility. Let's not get too gassed, but let's try and find a way to break them down.
Yeah. So weirdly, again, Arsenal fans, for whatever reason, they get on my nerves the most. Out of any fan base, they get on my nerves the most. And for this reason in time, they are giving it the mouth. This, that, and the other. They are making a mockery of the whole set piece corner FC situation. They're kind of embracing the character. They know that so for one, they don't score a lot of goals. They don't smash teams. A lot of their wins this season has come off the back of them scoring a set piece goal first, and then they'll get a 2, a 3 on occasion. But other than that, this season 19 corners, most in Europe. That's how many goals they've got from corners. It's
You're
mad.
joking.
It's insane. Yeah, it's 19.
Wow.
Yeah, 19. Bearing in mind, so in the Prem alone, so that's in all competitions, they've got 40 goals in the Prem. So just under half of their goals, I know it's in all competitions, have been from corners. So wow. They're a very stretched team, and Andrew's pointed out they've got a very stretched coach in Arteta. Got them playing in a way that they're not flamboyant. It's going to be a very different game to what we had against Man City, that's for sure. In terms of us, I feel like we need to go into the game and play exactly like we did against Man City. And I believe that Arsenal will struggle more in that regard. They will try and break us down, like you said. They're a very side-to-side team. A lot of Arsenal fans don't like the way that they play. They're just very glad that they're efficient and they get the job done. Us, in terms of lineups, So I generally, I think it's very easy for me. I don't think I would change a single thing. I think we go into the team, into the game exactly how we were. You know, your boy Maguire would be starting for me. He should be starting. Um, One in terms of experience, but again, it's going to be one of those types of games where we're going to be on the edge of the box, maybe defending a lot of crosses into that box, low, high. But yeah, in terms of the lineup, I wouldn't change a thing. I don't know if you change anything.
Well, the only thing for me is the Kobe Mainu situation. I think for different games is important. So you would think if you're a manager, you're playing away from home, maybe Agate, you would consider if Agate was playing to his maximum potential, because Agate would sit there and he would be able to sort of shuffle over and double up on the Saka, for example, or the wide men, keep it compact in midfield because they would overload with Rice and Odegaard or Eze and the Spanish guy. Just the midfield's going to be a problem. So, but I think Kobe can do that job. So I believe he should start and be given that confidence because he's on a high right now, and just because he's got something to prove, hasn't he? And a big game like this, 2 big games in a row. I mean, no sweat for Kobe. This just shows the fortitude of the man because he can come back after being rusty as hell from not having much game time, play a good, really good game against City with the best running stats and great, great performance on the pitch. His passing, his swerving shoulder rolls and all that kind of thing, dropping the shoulder on a certain man and saying you're missing. Great performance from him. So I would put him in. That would have been my question mark. So is he ready? Can he come back 2 games in a row or whatever? But yes, he is ready. Just a quick one to run by you. I was watching John Barnes on the overlap or whatever show they do. John Barnes is one of my favorite players of all time, so I had to watch it, the whole thing. I just watched it this afternoon, and he was saying that he scored the goal against Brazil in '84. In '86 he was fantastic, scoring 2, having great. Came on against Argentina for Gary Lineker to score and miss a sitter as well, and he still didn't get signed. So in those days you had to prove your worth at a club, and then you get signed by a bigger club. It took him 6 years, 7 years at Watford. And he made an example. He said, look, you look at players today, and Kobe Mainu is one of them. They come into the side at young and at a big club as well. And you have, can you really do it? Don't you have to sort of really earn your trade somewhere else? But I think it's a special player, Kobe. So for me, Kobe's proven in the time he's been, he's had such an impact, not just on data, but on the eyes as well. FA Cup goal, playing in top international tournaments. He is a player that can be trusted. So you asked me, that would be the only question mark for me, but he's a player that I believe can be trusted and should be trusted regardless of anything. He's got the ability, he's got the mentals as well. And the other one for me, I don't know how you feel about this, is Dorgu, who's really grown on me with what I've been seeing with his training and his attributes recently. What do you think about Dorgu playing in this side?
Well, again, so you wouldn't change the team?
No, I'm with you. I wouldn't. But
yeah,
Dorgu
no,
would be another.
Dorgu is my guy. You know my thoughts on Dorgu. Dorgu is my guy. But then it raises a question. Obviously, who put it in the chat? Someone mentioned the name. Chat Sports. Cunha starts. So obviously, this raises the question: does Cunha come into the team? For me, if Cunha comes into the team, it's at the expense of Luke Shaw, because then I would put Dorgu at left back. But then I think, can Dorgu handle Saka? And that's a weird one. It's a weird situation. I like the thought of Dorgu helping Shaw in a double up, if that makes sense, rather than Cunha helping Shaw in a double up. So I think 100%. I don't think Cunha comes in. I think Cunha will be left out of this one. But that's it. If you can't get into the team, if you're not performing to the best of your ability, you don't come in. Dorgu's taking the chance, and Bumo's back. Ahmad, does he come out the team? I know you like Ahmad. Does he maybe come out the team? It might not be the type of game for Ahmad.
For me, no. It wouldn't even be a question mark. He played really well the other day, and I think where they got Saka, Ahmad is almost on par for me with what he can do in the final third when in one-on-one situations, given the ball in those situations. He's going to hurt people. People back off, gets in the box, and anything can happen with him. So I really like Ahmad. You're very comparable to Saka, and I think he should. If he gets more game time and more confidence, he will be maybe on those levels with the outlet with assists and goals. He's a really good player for me.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. It'd be very interesting. It'd be very very interesting. Chat. Would you change anything in our lineup? Would you make any tweaks? Are you happy with the same? Let us know, please. Let us know. Let me run through. People have been giving their predictions already. Definitely. Jesus, Andrew Jesus when fit is amazing. He is very
Yeah,
good. He is very good. I have a feeling he might start actually instead
yeah.
of Jock Lesnar. I think he's getting a lot of slack, Jock Lesnar. And I want Jockers to start, to be honest with you, instead of Jesus. Rice, one of the nicest guys in football. Nice. He might be nice, but you need to be doing it on the pitch, in my opinion. Who cares how goals are scored? No, I agree with that, Andrew. I agree with that. That, at the end of the season, if they win the league and they've got the most corner goals, then who are we to judge? A goal is a goal at the end of the day. I don't. RD United, big up yourself. I don't care who scores the goals. I'm happy we're scoring more. I do like that. I do like that. Again, I haven't really gone into this game really concerned. I'm happy with how we're playing. It's people have been falsely misled, opposing teams. They assume, and it's normal, I get it. They assume we sacked Amram, so we're performing bad. That's not the case. It's a weird situation. We didn't sack Amram because of performances. We sacked him because he wanted to sign players. So automatically, Arsenal fans are not kind of considering us as a threat because they think we're performing badly. All your recent performances, there's no way you're going to come to the Emirates and beat us. Blah 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 blah. But we haven't been too bad, and we've been saying that all season. We haven't been too bad. Andrew agrees with you there. Barnes was so good. Yep, yep, yep. He was very insightful. I do like when John Barnes speaks, and
Mm.
he had a bit of rapport. He was speaking about Ian Wright on there, about their dressing room situations and whatnot. And I think he was speaking about his time with Gary Neville and how he spoke with Gary Neville in the pool or something like that. I thought that was
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Saka not their main threat. I agree with that. He is, but he's not been performing like it, I'd say. Toon fan, do you want Carrick as full-time manager? Hello there, wonderful horseshoe. Do we want Carrick as full-time manager? Not right now. I wouldn't say yes. I'm not saying no. I think the jury's open on that. Let him have the end of the season. And this would be another. Imagine that coming in interim, two games, boom, boom, Man City, Arsenal, tick, tick. Quick one on that one. From wonderful horseshoe. Are you
Hi, how you doing, wonderful horseshoe? And big up to Newcastle as well. They're doing fantastic. You must be really pleased with the manager. He's come in, you're in sort of 17th place, and look what you're doing right now. The next few games for you are really going to be exciting as well. I think they've got some tough games coming up, Liverpool, Man City as well, and PSG. But I think Carrick he's on probation. When you start a job, you get 6 months probation, and they will assess you at the end of it, decide whether they want to keep you on or not. I think the same thing applies. It's good, win-win for us because he knows that's the situation. It's down to him if he wants to really pull out some magical tactical stuff and get results, then he's got an opportunity to get in the job. So it's down to him.
big up, big up? And yep, wonderful horseshoe replies, yes, things are going well, thanks. Brilliant, good to hear. If you haven't done so, people, smash a like on the preview. And if you've not done so as well, if you're not, subscribe. Why not? It's free. It's free. Yeah, okay. So in terms of sky's the limit for us at the moment. I look at the table, we're sitting fifth. We're the last game on Sunday. Arsenal 55 points, Manchester United 35 points. We've lost one game in our last 10 in the league, which I knew we were doing okay. We're not been amazing, but we've been doing okay. When I looked at it, I was like, what the hell? Really? If you go further back, we've lost 2 in 13 or something like that. So I might get this tattooed. It's not being doom and gloom. But I am getting annoyed at the kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say the fan base, but I am getting annoyed at the whole lack of support for the team. It's changed in recent weeks, obviously, because we've had a new setup, we've had a new manager involved, etc. And I do think now people are starting to be a bit more positive with the results. I think it was more of a case of, we've got Amarim at the wheel. It's going to be doom and gloom again. We're not going to win this game. But I think a lot of people are going into it with a lot more optimism. So, you know, in terms of prediction for you, what are your thoughts? Like, sum it out, play out the game for me, and then give me your like prediction, how you feel like the end result might be.
First things first, I respect Arsenal Football Club. I mean, it's going to be hard to break them down. Not many teams do it, especially at home as well. This is a tough task. So, anyone of you guys making predictions say Man United are going to win, I mean, you have to really justify it, and you are sort of dreaming a little bit. I don't think it's possible to go there and get a win. To be honest, I just want to see a good performance. You know, we beat City. City aren't the best at the moment. They're a bit vulnerable. Look how many players they had out in defence. So once all the gas is over and I've calmed down a little bit, I can look at it and assess it a bit better. It's going to be a tough task to beat Arsenal. If we come away with a draw, that'd be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But we just got to dare to be great, you know, and dare to be brave and go out there and just play with the same sort of energy, like you were saying earlier, that Carrick brought to the game against Man City. If we come with that energy and put it on them, who knows? Because as we know, Arsenal are habitual bottle jobs. And what I would really love, the ideal scenario would us to be to beat them and put the bottle job jinx on them so they start going downhill, because they've been consistently good all season. So I think we could give everyone the blueprint how to beat them by going there and being brave and not sitting back and worrying too much about them suffocating teams as they do tend to. But it's going to be tough. I'll be happy to come away from it with a draw.
Okay, got an actual prediction? Like, so you got a draw?
I'm going to go 0-0. I think it could be a 0-0 game. Yeah, I really do. Because Arsenal, when you look at it, bro, Arsenal are quite content sometimes. When they look at the situation in the league, they would be content to say, all right, it's Man United, they're on the up. A draw would be okay. They drew the other day, didn't they, against Nottingham Forest? They're not scoring enough goals. You understand? That's an issue for them. This is what I'm saying. The bottle job season's coming in a bit later than previous seasons, but that's something they need to fix. So they don't score an abundance of goals that often, but they're very formidable at the back and they don't really leak at the same time. So that's why I'm saying a 0-0 would be great. And I can see that sort of fizzling out like that because it's not that meaningful because of the results have gone in their favour recently. They don't really have to really push too much.
Yeah, and that's a massive point. I'm gonna say like they've been lucky that other teams haven't capitalized on the times where they've dropped points. You know, for example, you've pointed out Forest, but then on that weekend we've beat Man City and then Villa go and lose to Everton at home. So it's just like, you know, they've ended up, their fan base once again have come out and started laughing because they've gained the point even though they drew the game. I think again, Man City losing midweek didn't help, you know, because in fact it took a bit of shine off our victory. You know, is it Man City? Are we turned the corner? We're playing really well, or were Man City just crap? Again, I don't want to jump off one game and go, oh look, whoop-de-doo. You know, we played well in the game. Definitely, it was a massive difference. But I am not that type of person where to go off one game and start, you know, oh, everything's the new world, yay, whoop-de-doo, rainbows, blah, blah, blah. No. I still think we've got a lot to work at, but it's promising when players are coming out and they're saying they're very shocked at what Carrick's done in 3 days. You know, it looks like the man can coach. You know, it looks like he's got coaching material DNA behind him. So going into the game, I think he will set us up in a similar way. I'm not too concerned about Arsenal's attack. I'm really not. I am very concerned about their corners. I'll be honest with you. I'm very concerned about their corners. Mr. Arsene Wenger, he is currently trying to change footballing rules. You know, he's the godfather, the guru of football, and he's trying to implement a change in the offside rule.
Yeah.
I think he needs to make a change in the corners. I think he could trial it out this weekend. Only short corners can be taken. See how you get on. And then, you know, after next weekend, you can go back to what it was. But I think he should start investigating how corners should be taken because it's not fair. It's becoming silly. But that, yeah, ignore that. That being said, prediction for me, I don't think we'll lose, but I don't think we'll win. And I will be doing a U. I'll be sitting on the fence. I think it'll be 1-1. I think our attack has got enough to get a goal. We're not going to smash them. But I think they've got enough in their locker to get a goal back. And I actually think it's going to be a set piece. I genuinely believe it's going to be a set piece from them, from their goal. Gabriel, bullet header, nightmare. For us, I can see Mbumo getting another goal. So hopefully. Quick one before we kind of conclude and wrap up. Shesko, we've not even mentioned him. Does he get a look in?
Yeah, he can come off the bench and turn things around. It depends on the situation. That's the good thing about it. You look at Arsenal bench and how many they played a B team against Inter Milan of all sides, who have been in Champions League finals recently, and B team and went there and beat them. I remember when their team with Omri beat them like years ago, and there's DVDs about that. But it's just standard. Yeah, no problem for them. They can go there with a B team. That just shows how strong their team is right now and their whole squad, and do the business. So it's tough, man. It's gonna be really tough. But we got Shesko all coming off the bench, and that shows us as well that we don't need to start him. He can come on, cause problems later, and that's one thing you know with him. He will cause problems with his height, with his running power, and his motivation. Let's see how hungry he is after being dropped for the big derby.
Fair enough. He needs to play. He needs to play his way back into the team. Carrick's just come in, doesn't fancy him straight away. That doesn't mean it's the end of the world for him. He's got an opportunity, and hopefully he takes it. Hopefully we have goals coming from everywhere, and that's a good sign of a team. Chat, if you've not done so, get your predictions in. What do you think the score will be? Chat sports can't go off just the one game. Next 10 games, then see how Carrick fares up. Yep. Definitely. Andrew, we have dangerous players. We can win, but off last 10 games, at least 5, we have been utterly shit. We have, but obviously, well, I wouldn't say we've been shit. We definitely haven't been shit. The scores and the results don't show that. We haven't been great, but we've not been getting battered. We generally cause the bigger teams problems. That is true. Good evening from Eddie's Football. Good evening, guys. Dropping a like and a listening. Think United could have a counter-attack win here. Yeah, I think that's how we'll do it. The only difference is I don't think we'll run through like we did against Man City. Arsenal won't allow themselves to be, letting us go through the back door like that. And what's his plan for our side? Chat Sports says, I'm not too sure. We need to sort that.
It's more advantage to the attacking player. So
sorry, the Wenger plans. Yeah. The Wenger plans. Sorry. Yeah. Arsenal so deep. Okay. Don't know what you mean by that. 2-0 Gunners from Andrew. Yeah. Oh, the depth. Yeah. Arsenal 2-0. Andrew says. Chats 1-0. Okay, fair enough. Wouldn't rule out a win for us though. Ooh. So you're going 2-0, but then you think we might win. So okay, we'll see. But hopefully, Andrew, we can come back on here after the game on Sunday. The reaction show, and it'll be incredible. Yes.
So Rio, question for you: what would it mean if we did go there and win, with them being so formidable at home and having a great record and everything else? What would it actually mean?
Well, again, some fans will be like, "Oh, it's only a second game. It means nothing. It means nothing." It'll be annoying as an Amram supporter or a fan of Amram that these players have managed to do this, but at the same time, I don't care. Amram's an afterthought for me now. If we beat Arsenal away, I won't shut up. I won't be humble. Yeah, I won't be humble. I'm promising you now, I will not be humble. There'll be a video on my TikTok every single day. I only did videos for 2 days on TikTok about the Man City win. No. This will have a full week allocation of videos. I'm telling you for sure. Does it mean top 4 opportunity, as Andrew says? Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. To be honest, it kind of feels like it now. Teams are dropping points. If we can take advantage of this, and then our next couple of games after this are quite, they're quite favorable.
Yeah.
What about for you? Like, what would your kind of come away from it?
It would mean a lot because we beat Man City, but then obviously you've seen what happened to Man City in Norway the other day, and obviously they had defenders out, so that sort of puts shade on that result. But it would mean even more if we beat Arsenal away, because not many. I don't think they've been beaten at home this year, maybe. I'm not sure, but they've been really. They're not conceding much, and they've got a lot of momentum. And for them, like you mentioned, their fan base as well. Their fan base are sort of slowly getting more confidence and actually thinking this could be their year. And a lot of top pundits are saying, yeah, Arsenal have got it. But if we beat them, it will change the whole landscape of them winning the league. Trust me, it'll put a huge dent.
We will have these on stream. The bottles will be coming out and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And it will open up the bottle job season for me. That's what it would mean. It would mean Arsenal are bottle jobs, and we will show the blueprint on how to do the job. And other teams will go there and start putting the boots in on them and showing that they're not as good as maybe they make out they are at the moment.
I'm glad you've asked that. Oh, you've put a fire in me now. I feel like I've not once said we're gonna go there and win. I've been playing it safe and saying we're not gonna lose. We're not gonna. I'm very confident we're not gonna lose. I'm not ready to say we're gonna win. I'm not ready for that yet. Yeah, but I can think. We can dream. We can dream, can't we? There's no harm in dreaming. And again, they're not this team that batter teams. I'm more concerned going to the Etihad. Because they can batter teams. They can turn you over. Arsenal are not that team. They don't turn teams over. So. Yeah, you've put it in my head. Andrew will be devastating loss. It would be a devastating loss, and we will not shut up about it, and rightfully so. But yeah, people, if you've not done so, smash the likes for the preview. Yeah, Arsenal, man, please, just don't lose. Please don't lose. If you get the win, United, thank you. Delo, thank you. Yeah, you get a special mention from me, Delo. Do it for Casa. Casa, come on, big performance from you.
One more thing. Yeah, we haven't really discussed about. I know Maz will be back from the tournament with Morocco, but is he likely to be a starter?
I've not seen anything about him.
What about Delit and all these other guys?
Is he in training? I've not seen anything about him being back yet. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's back yet. I'm not too sure. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to double check on that one. I don't think he's back. I've not seen any mention of him. If he's back, you damn right he gets into that team. You give him a tissue. After the devastating loss, I'm sure he's over it now. Yeah, towel. Sorry, a towel. Yeah. That towel gate. I don't know if you saw that towel gate. But yeah, if he's back, Delo, goodbye. Goodbye. Yeah, straight onto the bench. He can be a passion merchant, cheerleader from the side. That's perfectly fine from me. But yeah, looking forward to it. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. People, tomorrow, Mr. B is back with the fan zone, the Premier League mix on. Yeah, mix on. Premier League mix on with Tony, I believe. It will be a special. It will be almost like a second preview. It's going to be the Man United Arsenal special.
Bumping heads.
Yes. So there will be clashing. There may be cussing, but there will be war between them two. So join in for that. Thank you, Andrew. Been wonderful as always. Controversial as always, but we love it. We absolutely love it. Definitely. And that's what we're here for. But yeah, people, stream tomorrow. And then on Sunday, the watch along followed by the reaction show. Yaba, you with us for the reaction show on
I'm
Sunday?
going to a concert.
Okay.
Sunday morning football, and then I'm going to a concert afterwards. So I probably won't not even see the game.
Then we will see you on the Aftermath show on Monday, hopefully. But yeah, people, it's been amazing. Any last words from you? Any fighting talk from you before we wrap up, Yaba?
Yeah, come on, Casemiro, get that goal, and then you start calling you a ledge when you leave.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Casemiro, good luck in your future endeavors. But yeah, big performance from you, kind sir, this weekend. But yeah, but thank you as always, man. It's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure. Stream, whatever you get up to tonight, take it easy. And then big up yourself. Thank you as always. We've been the Man United Agenda, and good night. Glory, glory.